Hi, Erik.
Hi.
You said in an interview with Sky earlier this week that the team's still in transition. Obviously, you're into your third year. Why exactly is the team still in transition when you have spent the club has spent a lot of money on players? A lot of those players are in your image. A lot of players signed contracts. Why do you think it's still a transitional phase?
Because, of course, first season when I came in, I think we had to replace 6, 7 older players like Mata, Matic, Pogba, Lingard. So we started that process, but also this summer we still had to replace some older players, and we replaced them with many young players, like Erik, like Lenny Yoro, for instance, and that they need time. They need time to get used to the standards of the Premier League, standards of a club as United, especially, and we have to fit them in our game model and in, as I say, in the standards of the league where they are playing in.
You've had some very good reactions to bad defeats, bad performances. What has the mood been like in training and at Carrington this week?
As always, when we are not winning, we are very disappointed, and of course we are mad with ourselves, and especially when you lose a game like Sunday. Also, after all, then when you have to play so long time with 10 players, and then after it's overturned the red card, that gives frustration, because such a long time to play with 10 is of course never in your advantage, had a real impact on the game, but you have to deal with it, and we are mad, and now from the madness we have to get motivation, and we go into the next game.
Hi, Erik. When the team is going through a tough time like you're at the moment, how important is it, in particular tomorrow night, your big players to stand up and show their worth, the likes of the captain Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Lisandro Martinez, these key players? How important is it for them to show their leadership qualities and almost drag you out of a hole and get the result you need?
That is, everyone has to take responsibility, and that starts with me as a manager, but of course also on the pitch, and the players you mentioned, but or maybe also others who has leadership skills. They have to stand up, and every game for us is important, and every opponent is always 100% motivated. So we have to be ready as a team and as an individual to compete and to fight with them. And there you need some leaders on the pitch who can guide the process in any game.
Hi, Erik. You said on Sunday after the game that you and the leadership were all in the same boat, on the same page. Have you had any conversations with them since Sunday? Perhaps just encouraging you, to keep going, that everything's fine and you're safe in your job?
We talk every day, and we are in a common journey, and we made that agreement in the summer. And we had the discussion, we had the review, we made our decisions, we refreshed and we reset the staff, and I appointed my assistants, I appointed the staff, and but it was of course in a common process, but I did this, and we refreshed the squad as well, and we choose to especially to contract young players, and with typical abilities also, we know high potentials who can really for the future as well, because this club wants to be back on top, and there's a long-term project, and we set the target to be back over several years, to be champion, the highest Champions League, and there's a long-term journey, and we went in that boat, and we are, and therefore you need on the same page in the summer. So we will keep going in the process, but we will talk every day. Every day we will evaluate, review the process, and where it's necessary, we will make our decisions.
Chris. Hi, Erik. There's been so much external noise since Sunday. Do you feel under more pressure than you normally would coming into a game like this?
No, because it's not important what external, and it's only important what is internal. And internal, we're dealing with the defeat and nothing else.
Erik, in those conversations you have with Dan Ashworth and the people in the leadership group, what are they saying to you to give you kind of confidence going forward?
It's not necessary to give me confidence, but we are talking about how we can improve. We talk every day. How can we improve this club, this team? How we have to cooperate? How can we improve the processes? How can we improve the procedures? So how can we improve the relations and the connections? That is what we are talking about.
Charlotte.
Hi, Erik. What areas of improvement did you identify during the video analysis of the Spurs game?
It's one game, and in one game, of course, there is a review and what we could have done better. For instance, after conceding so quickly a goal, what should never happen, then you have to keep calm and composed and stay in the game and stick to the plan, like say this. And that has to do especially mental, and so there we can improve definitely.
Erik, could you just tell us what you're expecting tomorrow night, how difficult it's going to be, and how important it is for your players to have the belief, which sometimes seems to be lacking?
I think so. On Sunday they were on the point, lacking belief. But I have seen so many games also this season how we are completely confident. If I see the games we played against City in FA Cup and in a Community Shield, then you see this team is such a great belief in the plan and in each other, and so no doubt. But it's every time a challenge, and when you go here, we know the ambience here. We know this is a very good team with good players, and they have a good plan. So we have to play very good football to get the right result here.
Hi, Erik. Past coach Benny McCarthy has spoken about how good of a manager you are tactically. Are the players delivering the tactics the way that you would want them to? And do you think there's a communication problem? Because obviously the results on the pitch are not what you would have wanted or the players, I assume.
So if we didn't create chances, then I should doubt, but we create a lot of chances. We have even, I think, the third highest XG in the Premier League. So now it's about, we have to be more effective. Have also to do that. So one of our top scorers is not available until now. He doesn't get a start. He didn't get a start so far. But we have to improve that final third, especially our box game. We have to be more killers there.
Are you confident that the strikers can do that? Like the forward players can get the goals?
Yes, our strikers, they are capable of doing this. But then we are in the same discussion as we were last week.
Thank you.
Okay, last couple at the back. Portuguese question. And then Simon Peach, and then we have to finish.
Boa noite, Sr. Ten Hag. Eduardo Pestana, RTP. Aqui, falando do Futebol Clube do Porto, saiu o Sérgio Conceição, foi treinador do Porto durante 7 anos, entrou o Vítor Bruno. Que Porto, que adversário espera amanhã neste jogo importante, quer para a sua equipa, quer para a equipa do Futebol Clube do Porto?
Yes, of course we analyzed it, and we know he was a long time. He was the assistant, and now he is in charge. And we have seen, of course, the games from Porto, and you see a very clear plan, very dynamic, very also aggressive, and with a lot of dynamics in. So it's really a challenge. It's a good challenge. We're really looking forward to it. But as I said in one of the previous questions, we have to be good because I like their style. They want to create. They want to go forward. They are defending very aggressive. So we have to play very good against them to get a result.
Last question, Simon.
Hi, Erik. Mason Mount's obviously not here. What is the severity of his injury, and are you able to give an update on when the left back's going to be back available for you?
Yeah, so he had that head injury, and also he picked up a knock, and that are the two reasons why he's not available for tomorrow. And then on the left back, yeah, they are improving, but I don't expect them back for the international break. But we hope that Luke Shaw can return after the international break quickly. I don't know if it's the first game we're hoping for. So I can't, I can't in this moment. I can't tell this with 100% security. But yeah, then we have from now on we have 2.5 weeks to work to that point. But then shortly, definitely after, he will be there. And Tyrone Malacia makes very good progress on the pitch, and he has to make now the step to full team training.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Big up, everybody. Hope you're well. Good morning to you. What are your thoughts, guys? That's been a manager's press conference. You know, the manager was asking quite a few questions there. I think there was a lot of good information to be had from that. You know, what did you guys take from the questions in the manager's press conference? I know there's a lot to be interpreted. A lot could be interpreted quite differently. I'm not going to try to interpret it all by myself. We'll go into it together, guys, because, you know, some people might think because I'm a little bit manager in, I would interpret it only in a positive light. You know what I mean? So let's get into it, guys. You know, he was asked about, you know, how they did their transfers and, you know, what they did and how they planned it. And together with the structure, apparently he answered that, you know, we got these players, young players for the future. You know, it's always going to be a work in progress. We made this plan because we have a plan for future success. You know, we have a target we're trying to hit. And I think that's fair. You know, we can say the manager has a veto, but at the end of the day, the new structure came in. We all were excited. We all said, you know, best in class. So now I think we should trust them, and they made the decisions together with the manager. So what's the frustration? But that's just my opinion, you know what I mean? Well, Sancho chose to leave, my bro. So I don't know why you keep saying Sancho wasn't good enough to start nor be on the bench. He wanted to leave the club. You know what I mean? I think all crybabies should leave the club, to be fair. Sancho he never performed for Manchester United. He was never that for Manchester United. Wasn't inconsistent games giving top performances. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I think we need to get over Jadon Sancho, guys. It's much more important than just Jadon Sancho. There's other players in the club that need to be developed, that need to perform better. We are Man United. You know what I mean? Ten Hag didn't make him leave, and if your name is Pimp Nim Slip Back, I don't know what to say about you, bro, but the dude had a chance to play football for Manchester United for 2 months unhinged and decided to sit, you know, to sit at home. But what can I say, bro? Big up to Brendan Chappell in the building. Big up to Will. I don't know why. Will, what's up with you this morning? Brendan, on your United fan, how would you like it if you said because I'm from Manchester to you, a Mac or not, you would make you feel pain? You know what I mean? It's interesting. Kenny is expecting a performance against Porto. So am I. I think most of us are expecting a performance against Porto. It's going to be an interesting one because, you know, Manchester United have to get some results. We have not had a great start to the season. 6 games in the Premier League, 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. It's not looking that good, guys. It's not looking that good. You know what I mean? I see Stephanie saying, I would have asked Ten Hag, do you think Bruno and Dalot will play better now they're back in Portugal? I think that would have been an interesting question myself. Bruno's had a horrid start to the season, and Dalot, he's having some moments where he's switching off. What's going on with these guys? You know what I mean? Big up. Craig is saying basically Gage from ATH answers that he won't switch anything up in terms of tactics or player favoritism. My question to you, Craig, if you can explain to me what you mean by the player favoritism. I mean, all coaches have 7 players, 6 players that constantly start for them. You know, I mean, if you look at some of those players that have been starting for Manchester United, barring Marcus Rashford, the rest have been more consistent than not. You know, I mean, it's true Bruno's having a horrid start to the season, so he should be getting more bench time. I totally agree. He needs to look at that, take a deep look at that. You know what I mean? Mark N, what do you mean when you say we are Man United? Have we got birthright to be a special club or what? Bro, every club has its own legacy. 100% every club has its own legacy. And Man United has one of the most storied legacies in the history of football. And when I say we are Man United, I mean we are courageous. You know, we are defenders. We are the ones that will stand up, you know, and be counted. You know, we don't give up. We always fight, and we try our best to win, and we always give 120%. And that's what I mean when I say we're Man United, because that's what I learned about Man United growing up watching Sir Alex Ferguson coach Man United. So for me, when I say we're Man United, that's what I mean. Never say die. You know what I mean? And it's a weird one, guys, because at the same time, I don't really see that in this new Man United team. I know we're a work in progress, so I expect the performances to get better. But, you know, I expect these players to show more fight, more bite. You know what I mean? A desire to win, a desire to fight tooth and nail to the end. And I'm not always seeing it. You know what I mean? Big up to Brendan. I'm not a fan due to the glory, so words don't have any effect on me. 100%. 100%. You know what I mean? Big up. The fan base is, I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about in the chat. Big up to you, Craig Warwy. I hope you're well. Yeah, bro, I'm having a good morning. You know, I mean, home a little bit late from work, so I wasn't able to come on at 8:30 UK as normally, but I'm here now trying to interact with you guys and see what you guys think about the manager press conference. You know, it's going to be a tough game against Porto. They are a good team. You know, their last outing in the Europa League, though, they lost to a 10-man Bodo Glimt 3-2. It was an interesting game. They weren't that great, but in their league form has been pretty good so far. So I have to admit to you guys, I'm a little bit concerned about the game. Though Manchester United have shown to have good performances this season, our worst 2 performances was against Liverpool and Spurs. We've had pretty good games otherwise. We've dominated the games. We've had an average of 60 to 65% possession in the other 5 games that we've played, 4 games that we played so far in the Premier League. It's an interesting thing, you know what I mean? We've had 2 really bad games, conceding 3 goals. 1, we were down to 10 men, and it's not looking good. And I know the fan base is upset. I know everyone is frustrated. And, you know, I would expect the manager to be a little bit frustrated with the players as well. And I think most of the fans would expect the manager to call out some of these players. But from what I've learned from this manager over the last 18 months is that he usually defends the players and he does his criticisms of the players more so now behind the scenes. When he said that one critical comment about Jadon Sancho, he didn't train well. Well, we all saw the results of that. But then Edin Terzic, the coach of Dortmund, said the same thing to Sancho 2 weeks after he signed on loan. He never said anything. He never posted anything. No one criticized Edin Terzic. No one said anything. No, but it's Ten Hag's fault. You know what I mean? He got rid of Sancho. Sancho was the savior. You know, he was going to get 50 GA at United every season on average. He was our best winger by performances. He scored, wow, in 84 games, 12 goals and 6 assists. Oh my goodness. How could we get rid of that player after we paid 75 mil for him? It's interesting, guys. It's interesting. Nope, just a fan. I've supported the club since I was a small kid. That's it. Big up to you, bro. Man United got us all getting out of the wrong side of the bed every morning, it seems. Craig, telling you, bro. You know what I mean? It's the first time in a long time that losing 2 or 3 games before match week 10, I've seen the fan base so furious and upset. You know what I mean? It's unusual to me. You know what I mean? I've never seen this before. We've done this under Alex Ferguson. We've done this under Ollie. We've lost 3-4 games in the first 10 games before. It was never this bad. It was never this stressful, guys. And it's quite difficult as a fan. I mean, I'm not a Manc, I'm from Trinidad. So I try not to say too much because, you know, I don't want to be seen like if I'm trying to overstep. But as a Man United fan, I just think I'm worried about the fan base. I'm worried about all of you. You're all my friends. You know what I mean? I'm worried about you guys because, yeah, I know we haven't had a good start, but I feel like we're taking it too deep a little bit. You know what I mean? It hasn't been that bad, Will, as Ron Atkinson bad, man. If you technically, bro, it's not that bad. I think the way people have, you know, done the analysis and they've continuously criticized things, I think that's what making it worse. Ten Hag hasn't broken all our bad records. I mean, we finished 8th, but I mean, it's not like Man United have never been relegated before, so it's not the worst. You know what I mean? We have been relegated before. We finished 11th. We finished 13th under Sir Alex Ferguson before. You know what I mean? We finished 9th under Fergie. So 9th, 13th, and 11th. That's where we finished under Fergie. Also 6th. I mean, it's interesting. You know what I mean? It was never that bad. We've never been this hyped. You know what I mean? And I think we need to all take a break, relax. You know what I mean? This is why I've had a mental break from it all, Mark. Needed a break, but credit to you for showing up every day and putting content out. It's tough right now. 100%, bro. Yeah, I know, Pav. I know he spent 700 million in 18 months. He has in 18 months. It's not been 3 years. You know, I've not aged another year. Luckily for me, my birthday is in December, so I could keep track of the time better than you. You know what I mean? So when you say 3 years, just remember it's not even been 2.5. 2.5 would be in December. You know what I mean? Because that's how you count it in seasons. He's had 2 seasons. The third one has just begun. It's not even halfway through. We haven't played 18 games yet. So it's weird. Big up. Brendan, if you ain't angry, disappointed, then you ain't a valid fan. Luman, I don't think you should say that, bro. You're a mod. Shouldn't be saying that. I could understand what you mean. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. But I'm also manager and I think the players need to show a little bit more. I don't know if anyone agrees or disagrees with me, but when I see blood, sweat, and tears, I know what it looks like. I'm pretty sure all of you do too. We've seen Rooney, Tevez, and Ronaldo up front with players behind them. We've seen the effort levels. And we have not seen that. And whether you dislike the manager or not, I would be more concerned with players not putting out that 100% effort, basic, just because they're playing for Manchester United. Has nothing to do with a manager, has nothing to do with the fans, has everything to do with you're at Manchester United wearing that badge. If you're not coming out giving 120% basic, why are you here? Why are you here? If a manager needs to motivate you to play for Manchester United after you're getting 300K a week, 200K a week, you got all these fans, 72,000 in the stadium watching you, what motivation do you need to win? I think fans should be more concerned about that than the manager right now. Because no matter what manager we get, it could be Zidane, it could be Zidane, we could go get Tuchel, we could get Nagelsmann. If these guys are giving the same half-assed energy, how are their tactics going to work? How? I mean, you could subjectively say that and be right in this current moment, but you can't predict at the end of the season, because if he goes on to win the league this season, you'd be in the mud, buddy. You'd be in the mud predicting madness. Big up to you though, Pam. But you know, the funny thing is, guys, I just think yeah, bro, you know, this morning I'm so mad, bro. I'm so frustrated. Also, bro, like, I don't even rate Zidane as a coach. I don't know why everyone talk about Zizou like he's an amazing coach. He couldn't do it without Ronaldo and Bale, bro. If he had no Ronaldo, he'd never win a La Liga or UCL as a coach. He said it himself. He's never developed any young talent. So what's going to happen to all our young players? We're going to just have to sell them. But I know, get Zizou, guys. Get Zizou. You know what I mean? All these fans in here, Mark, and I would literally have a pint with you and go to the match with you. Hell, I'd take you on a tour around Manchester. Bro, I'm keeping you to that part. The tour, I'm here for that, bro. I'll be there for the next game. What are you saying, Will? Are you around for the next game against PIOK? Let me know. Let me know. I think the tickets are still cheap. Let me know. Let me know what you're saying. Pimp named Slickback says Ten Hag is playing with the players this way. He doesn't want tactical players. He wants runners like Rashi Garners and... Bro, don't do that, man. He's even dropped Ahmad. He dropped Ahmad for one game. He came on in the second half and played. But Ahmad was dropped for Garnacho. Let's be honest, guys. I'd win 3 CLs with him. Bro, I would win 3 CLs with Ronaldo, bro. Who wouldn't? You know what I mean? Then you got Bale. You have Marcelo. Bro, missed me with that one, man. But you know what I'm saying? Ahmad situation, guys, you know I'm an Anthony fan. I think Ahmad should be starting games. I was pissed off that Ahmad didn't start against Tottenham. I was extremely pissed off. I don't know how most people weren't. But at the same time, you know, these things happen. And the funny bit is, guys, we need a squad. We need a squad. And when I say we need a squad, I mean, no matter who is in the starting 11, they should be delivering for Manchester United. Because here's what, guys. If they're not starting, they're on the bench. So if they have to come on, what then? You know what I mean? The manager should be able to select anyone in the starting 11. We should still be able to win games. The reason why I'm saying that is because this is what Alex Ferguson do. I grew up watching Alex Ferguson bench some players who scored 2 goals in the previous game, not bringing them on until the 70th minute, and we are already down 2 goals. I don't know if you guys remember that Everton game with Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored a brace the game before. He was on the bench. We were down 2-0. And Alex Ferguson waited until we got a 1 goal scored and brought him on. He did score a brace. We won the game 3-2. But the funny thing is that Alex Ferguson would bench him. He would bench lots of these guys. Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, lots of these guys came off the bench and won us games. Other players got starting minutes and we still performed. This is what Man United means to me. So when the manager makes a selection, sometimes I am mad because let's get it right. I'm not a huge fan of Marcus Rashford. I don't think he should be starting for United. But at the same time, he starts. So I'm not complaining about that. What I'm complaining about is the performances of the team that starts. I don't think we should be so harped on who starts, but we should be harped on their performances because regardless of who starts, they should play well. We should win games. That's just my opinion. You know what's funny, right? You type up the Google 5 big clubs. Guess who's still there at the summit to keep your heads held high? I know we're not good enough, but type that up. You might feel better. Will, in my lifetime, United has always been number 1. I don't need to type it on Google, bro. It's typed right here, 100%. Last season, we were losing matches because we were pretty looseless. This season, we're losing because we're making mistakes, wrong choices. Not being funny, but that actually is progress. And Brendan, they're going to hate me because I agree with you. I agree with you, buddy. I think that's exactly the case. And I think the moment we start making better decisions, we will get better results. You know what's sickening? I've seen City fans waiting for Fergie to, you know, he's sick. That is, bro. Some fans take things too far, Will. Some fans. During that era, there'd be no repercussions if you didn't start a player or bench a player. But that's not true, Lumen. That's not true. You know, the newspapers worked and fans still had their opinions. What was different is that no matter who started, they gave 120%. They ran, they sacrificed for each other. They performed at their best. They didn't depend on just the manager. They knew they had brothers on the field fighting with them and on the bench waiting to support them. That's what was different back then. You know what I mean? It's not so much the manager. It's about you and your teammates. When you play in a team, your teammates come before everything else. You have to be willing to sacrifice because not everyone's going to have a perfect game. Someone's going to have a bad day sometimes, and you're going to have to pick up the slack. Most people don't think like that. That's the funny thing. Now they think that, you know, the manager is at fault because these guys are getting ran through, but they're standing watching. And no one is like, I'm going to take the yellow cards, save the team. Everyone has a day, bro. Sometimes you have to make a sacrifice. You know, Stephanie, you Google it, they're still here. Hated, adored, never ignored. Might get it tattooed. Big up to you, bro. Big up to you. Ten Hag Kennedy explained his tactics to you. I mean, why do you think that? Because he doesn't have any. He plays the same way from day one, doesn't work, and he keeps doing it, but you back him. But that's not true. That's not true at all. You know what I mean? Even Benny McCarthy came out and said, Ten Hag is tactically elite. He's up there with the best. Maybe he doesn't give that approach that feels like, yeah, maybe he doesn't give that approach that makes you feel like he is all-encompassing or like that amazing character like a Pep or like a Klopp. But guys, he does the most effective things. He protects this team to the media against the fans. He protects their dignity, whether they perform badly or they perform great. He gives them the plaudits. I would say it's a classy manager to be had. You know what I mean? Because he would always protect the players against the media, against their bad performances. He would scold them behind closed doors. And we already know, we've heard it from Benny McCarthy. He's tactically elite. We've heard it from, you know, McLaren. He says this guy is a tactical genius. You know, not everyone is going to be openly wearing their heart on their sleeve. Not everyone's like that. Doesn't mean they don't have the same passion or love for something that everyone else's have who does that. You know what I mean? I think that's a bit disingenuous to say. I don't like how the media is piling on Ten Hag, and some people are lapping it up. You know, it's like they attacked this man from the moment he came into the league. They've openly disrespected him. They've disrespected our club, disrespected our players, and they do it openly. Yet still, we help them pay their bills by supporting all these funny articles, bro. The funny thing is a lot of these articles that they've been talking about recently are fake. They're not fake in the sense that they weren't true, but it's when were they true? If you check the article about the players leaking stuff, in that major article, the first one, it's actually an article from back in June. The same article was written by the same guy. It's quoted by the guy that was written in June. When you click on it, it takes you back to the article in June. It's not new. You know what I mean? It's just weird that they have to recycle some of these news just to throw shame onto a coach because they don't like him. It's true, Man United aren't performing well, man. We're not doing that great. But it's not this bad. It's only 6 games. Imagine there's 32 games left. And if you're doing your mathematics, you only need 25 games to get above 82 points. You just need to win 25. You can still lose 7 games or draw and still get well above 85 points. It's insane, guys. The way the media is making it look, you would believe that Arteta at 2 years into Arsenal was doing a better job. But let me remind you, at this same stage of his career, Arteta was in 14th until January. 14th. 14th place in the Premier League until January. and then they made a winning dash to finish 5th. That was the season we had Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat-trick when he lost his child. Think about it, guys. Go back, check it out if you think I'm wrong. That's this, at this same stage, Arteta was losing 5-0. Hell, he lost 4-1 to our Manchester United team that season. He lost 3-0 to Spurs, 3-0 to Liverpool, 3-0 to another team. So that's just 5 of his losses in that one season. Arsenal was Arteta out. I don't know if you guys forget. Until Ten Hag's first season, which was the season after. And Arsenal suddenly came second. They were unbeaten. Guys, it's interesting. Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe, by the way. You know what I mean? Even if ETH would explain his tactics to you, but we're not sure you'll understand it, so why bother? I mean, it's interesting to say it like that, bro. I'm not too sure about that. I know some guys are tactical geniuses as well, so I'm not that, so I'm not claiming that. I might not understand it fully. I might have to do research, but, you know, thank you, Craig. Big up, bro. I had to do some clean up some of the stuff and thing, spray it with some contact cleaner. I've had my work colleagues and conversations, guess that what United fan, and jump ship, you never turn back on that bizarre, on that club. How bizarre is that? Bizarre, bro, bizarre. Real Madrid, my team just lost 3 games in about a year, and we want Carlo to fix up or leave and won't join the Champions League. Yeah, you guys lost 1-0 last night. Disappointing. To Lille, of all clubs. Wow, I watched the game with Themba. Bro, you just bought Mbappe and lost to Lille. You could have lost 3-0. Themba was so lucky I was sleepy last night, bro. Telling you, Real Madrid looked horrible last night. Mbappe couldn't hit a barn door. Dude overran the ball. He was looking worse than Anthony on the pitch. Swear to you. You know what I mean? Would Saf have done the same thing, or would Saf do the same those days? Well, Saf technically did the same thing, man, Luman, because in Saf time, he was trying to change the way we played, and he lost quite a lot of games. There was an article where it was saying in his 4th season, it's time to get Saf out. And in that season, he went on to win the FA Cup, and he kept his job. And yeah, it happens sometimes. Sometimes it's a difficult road, Luman. It doesn't go as planned, and sometimes you do have to be patient. I mean, I'm not the voice of the United fan base, so in my opinion, for me, I would be patient. I could understand others who say they want another coach. I'm just concerned about the players performing for 6 months and then going back to status quo, because that seems to be the trend. So that's the problem for me. I don't think a manager is just going to change it. Big up to Will. Craig Warby says, one of them in the bin dipper fan, and she went, please keep it quiet. I went, ooh, give me a secret banter United anymore. May open a camera. Well, Lingsom saying, so why is the players not playing to their full potential? What must they do to be motivated? Playing for United is motivation enough. 100%, Lingam. 100%. What motivation do you need? You get an amazing salary weekly. You're playing for one of the biggest clubs on the face of the earth. Millions of fans, 72,000 cheering your name on a match day. What more motivation do you need? Benny McCarthy has spoken about some players. He won't mention that they're half-assing it. Ineos next summer, get rid, make a statement, sell the poster one. Then you can set the example. Will, we talked about this for months, my brother. We talked about this. Real Madrid has not been run like United for the last decade. We have been on a slow decline season after season. It's not comparable. It's not comparable. 100%, Craig, 100%. You keep claiming that you've been supporting Man United since before Mark and myself were in nappies, but you clearly didn't learn a thing at the time. Be nice, Brendan. oh, you want to come in and have a bit? Okay, I got 5 minutes. You guys could come in. I'll drop the link if you want to come in and say your bit. Come in really quickly. You know what I mean? Big up to you, Kingdom. I know, bro. I know, but I just had to say my bit as well, you know. Brendan, I've been a fan through BBC Radio. Bro, some of these guys, man, I don't know how life is when you're that. You know, you've been seeing so many things. Interesting. Did you watch the Villa Bayern last night? It was tough. I did. It wasn't a great game. It was a bit dodgy. You know, I think that Bayern missed quite a bit of chances. I think Aston Villa did well. They had some good moments in the game. I mean, it's not nothing to be. I think this Aston Villa team is going through an evolution as well this season. You know, they almost lost to Ipswich on the weekend. I think Ipswich was the better team. I didn't expect them to be fair, but they were. They almost won the game at the end. They had 2 huge chances at the end to score and make it 3. And their striker hit the post, and the other one he missed. So it's interesting. She was bro, Ben Dippers. In the words that you might understand, basically that you make it nice. Keep it nice, guys. Big up to Bailey Tech, bro, in the building. What did you think about the press conference? What are your thoughts? I know we're about to face, you know, Porto tonight. It's going to be an interesting encounter. I think we will win the game, but it's going to be a tough one for sure. Big up to you, bro.
My thoughts were like the typical press conference, really. They just try and trip Ten Hag up and try and highlight stuff that haven't really got anything to do with European competition. And they try and talk about our league form and things of that nature, which I don't really see them doing to any other manager, to be honest. But it's Man United, so we'll be in, like, as an example, we'll be playing FA Cup. They'll be highlighting the league. We'll be playing in European competition. They'll be highlighting the league, and I'm just thinking, which other manager has to go through this shit? But I mean, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. But in terms of like what I think about Porto, I'm a little disappointed because when I hear a lot of content creators talking about other teams, they pay them zero respect all the time. So, but those same people that are paying them zero respect, when we play against them and then we see their quality, it's at that point they're like, look at that manager, look at that manager. When it's like, it's almost like you're setting yourself up for failure. If you think you're good at attracting women and then you go to an attractive woman, you go to 10 attractive women in one day and they all turn you down, then wasn't your head just way too big? Like, couldn't you just see it as a learning process and just say, do you know what, I'm not there yet, but one day I'll be there? But no, they wanna think I can get any girl, get turned down, and then turn around and start telling the girl that she's ugly. Anyway, like, it doesn't make any sense, yeah? Let's just understand, okay, cool, Porto is a good team, yeah? They're not rubbish, they're actually very good. They're good on the ball, they're good in transition, they're good on the counter-attack, they're good from set plays. The only real weakness in the team is the aerial duels. But other than that, they're a fantastic team to play against. So if we lose today, I'm not saying we will, but I am wary of that team. But if we lose today, because they're not a rubbish team. So if we lose today, I don't want to hear, oh my God, we should be beating this. No, because Man United is a work in progress. We're work in progress. Porto is not far off the finished article. So they're in a different position to us in their life cycle, and plus they're a team that's in way better form than us, way better form. So I just implore some of the fan base to get a bit more realistic and to understand where we're at. We've just lost, what is it, 3 games in a row now?
Well, not in a row, but 2 games. We lost one.
Oh.
We won and one.
Okay. So we've lost a few games in a row now. Our form is not good. We've seen a 3-0 battering 2 times this season. Yeah. So let's just be realistic and just take it a bit more easy, bring it down a notch, and just hope and pray that these guys start to get it together. A few more guys get a few more games in their legs and they learn their teammates. Because some of these players, this is their first time playing in England, their first time playing in English league. And we did bring in 6 players this season. So it's asking a lot for 6 players to just, boom, hit the ground running. Like, you just got to give it a bit of time. But, yeah, let's just be realistic, guys. Let's be realistic.
100%. Fix.
Yeah,
Before you go, I
bro.
just wanted to shout out to Aaron. I did down there with this. You know, I never talked
I
about this
was
ever.
waiting for you. I have to send you a message.
I wanted, bro. I never wanted to talk about this one messenger because my thoughts when I heard this was not another David Moyes. This man, I love him to death. He gave me the best childhood through my teenage years supporting United. But please don't pick our next manager. Thank you. And I hope guys aren't mad that I'm saying that. But after seeing what he did picking Moyes, you don't want him picking another manager. Come, pick players to start first. But don't pick the next manager. Fix. What are you saying, buddy?
Yes, first of all, I have to say kudos to you. Yesterday, you hold your ground in the KG show. You know, you didn't lose your cool. You didn't know one thing about these guys. When you bring out a fact, they will find a way to twist it or try to shut you down, you know. But when you are wrong, they will be quick to point it out. You said Ten Hag has been here for 3 years. You said 2 years, they refused. And when you said Ateta did 3 years and has the same result, and they said, no. It's not 3 years, it's 2.5 years. Why you are calling 3 years on Ten Hag and you are not saying 2.5 years on Ateta? How can somebody be that biased, you know? One thing that makes me, I am Ten Hag in. I will never.
Fix it there. He disappeared, bro. I hope. Is it just me? Bailey, can you hear him?
No, he's gone, I think.
Yeah, he'll be back just now. Yeah, bro. I heard this. I read this report, but like, you see, the thing is, guys, the reason why. Oh, Fix, you're back?
Yeah.
You disappeared just now.
Yeah, it's call entered in my phone.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, you keep the same energy, not when it's Ten Hag, you are fired up and all that because you don't.
Fix, your internet, bro, is doing a madness this morning, bro. I think you might have to go out and come back in. Yeah. Yo, like I read this article as well. I've been hearing some reports on this, but I think this is mostly not people at Man United, bro. Like, I don't mean to make it sound like that, but Ruud van Nistelrooy came at the behest of Erik Ten Hag. So did Rene Hacker. I know the structure also wanted to refresh the coaching staff, but Ruud and Rene Hacker was handpicked by Ten Hag. I don't think that guy is going to backstab Ten Hag just like that. I think he would love to coach Manchester United, though. But I don't think it's going to be in a situation like that.
Do you know you said a good point there that Ten Hag brought these guys in? But not only that, but I remember when Ten Hag first came in, he wanted to bring big Dutch coaches that had connections to Man United before. He tried to bring in Jaap Stam. He couldn't get him. He tried to bring in Ruud, but Ruud was taking a manager job elsewhere. So it's like people forget these things. In fact, yeah, one thing the summer has taught me is that they've gone all in on Ten Hag. So the idea that they're just going to get rid of him now because it hasn't gone off to a flyer like we wanted, is a bit wild, because then why would you spend the money that you spent in the summer acquiring 6 players bringing in
Phony managers.
they bringing in so many people in the background. I believe they brought in Ajax's goalkeeping coach.
Ten Roller. Yeah, he was like goalkeeping coach at Burnley.
Yeah, but I think Ajax signed him, and then Man United took him off Ajax without him even being there for a game. So he hasn't even saw one game with them before Man United re-signed him off Ajax. And you know, we've gotten a few players that are connected Dutch-wise, you could say, who may understand his philosophy. And yeah, like, you're not gonna just sign the lit Mazraoui, and do you know what I mean? I then think, yeah, we'll just get rid of him if it doesn't bang straight away. Like, it blows my mind. So the idea that even when people are like, oh, he's got till Christmas, or he's got till October, or he's got till, I don't believe none of this, you know. I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, all last season, yeah, they're going to sack him any minute now. Content creators were doing streams, doing loads of streams. He's gone. And then all of a sudden, he's signed an extension to his deal, like 1 year extra. So I think they're going to give him till the end of the season to get it right, because then that deal makes so much sense to me. They've 100%. Gone all in on him. They've gone all in on him. They're now giving him to the end of the season. They're saying, bro, okay, we understand that you might not finish in the top 4. We understand this. But at least give us performances. So now, because I could kind of see it now, Ten Hag knows that, oh, well, we could just try and play a different way in order to achieve results. But that is not, and he could play scumbag football, but that is not the aim and objective of Ineos. Ineos have said, we need performances.
100%.
You cannot play crap. We want to see you dominating games. We want to see performances. We don't want to win in a dirty manner, but you're achieving victories, because that is not the game model that we want. And I think people have to understand. So when they're like, oh, but why ain't he making changes? Why ain't he doing this? Why ain't he doing that? It's because he can't. That is not what the management want. They want possession-based football. They want attacking football. He can't go away from that. They just want to see a game model, and they want to see performances. So that's what I believe he has to do this season. But one thing I believe that he definitely can't do is finish in 8th again. Like that,
yeah, I don't think so as well. He definitely needs to improve at least by 2 or 3 spaces, at least get to 5th, somewhere thereabouts. But even then, I think you have to win win the Europa and or defend the FA Cup. That's what I think.
Well, I can agree that he has to win something at least, but the performances definitely have to improve. So I can agree with the hierarchy that, okay, whilst we're in transition, because the thing is, yeah, people don't like the idea of the transition because they're like, oh, well, he's got like an 11 full of players, yeah? And we can agree to disagree in a way. One, because the first 2 seasons had nothing to do with the Ineos structure. This is the first season that we've had actual structure. We had accountants buying the football. I mean, buying football players and making football decisions. Now we got football people making football decisions. And how many months have they been in charge for? Do you what, 2 months or what? You expect, and some of these, like all the Baradas and the Ashworths and people like that, when did they come to the club? Because most of them was on gardening leave and things like that.
The second week in July, everybody was in.
Okay, so now you're expecting Man United from a football and a financial perspective to now be the better than everyone else in a few months, in what, 3 to 4 months? No. Like, it might take a good few seasons for us to get to where we need to go. Because in my eyes, this is Ineos year 1 now. You can't add Ineos and the Glazer situation and say it's the same thing, because they wasn't running the football. They didn't appoint this manager. They just kept him on after he won the FA Cup. That's it. So we have to give it a chance, and let's see what's going to happen going forward. But the idea of sacking him before the end of the season is a bit wild, because as you said, Arteta didn't start getting it right until after Christmas.
But you know, they would never agree with that. They would always find some argument against it, like Andrew Williams. Morning, big up, bro. Don't forget, smash a like and subscribe. Welcome to the channel, bro. And Andrew is saying we have no pace, creativity, leadership, finishing, pattern of play, idea of our best team, and confidence. Well, I might agree with some of those things. We definitely have pace. We have creativity, because I don't know if you know, Andrew, but we top the Premier League for most big chances created and missed. So those two things we definitely have. Yeah, we could agree on leadership, maybe finishing as well. We have a pattern of play, because we could see how we dominated against Southampton and the other games to follow. We really did do a poor performance against Spurs, but let that not, you know,
The only time we never really, the only time we never really saw patterns of play was when we've been smashed. We never saw any patterns against Spurs. We never really saw any patterns against Liverpool. But other than that, we've pretty much seen patterns in every game. So the idea is it's a little bit wild that we haven't got no style of play. If you haven't seen the style of play, I don't try to disrespect other football fans, because I believe that football fans are knowledgeable to a certain extent. But if you're saying that you haven't seen any style, then I beg, please go back and watch a few games, and then try and, because obviously when you're watching a match, sometimes you're watching the match with a certain emotion. When you're watching the match without emotion, maybe you can now look and deep how we're playing, because there's a pattern of play there.
True, there is a pattern of play, in my honest opinion. I think the idea of our best team has changed, will change, and that's because we just bought 6 players in, 4 of whom I would say potentially will be main starters going forward. So it's obviously that we won't know our best 11. I mean, Amad Diallo is starting for the first time in his career as a Manchester United player consistently. You know, he still has to find his way. It's the same thing. Garnacho's still trying to dethrone Rashford, and we're still trying to figure out who's the best starting striker. I mean, Højlund should be that guy, but he did start off the season injured, so Xerxes is currently there, and Højlund is not yet fit. It's kind of a bit, you know, blatantly open that, you know, we would not have the best 11 on the pitch currently. And that is normal. And Andrew, this is normal as well. It's been 6 games. You know what I mean? We scored 5 goals. And in the last 2 years, scores 58. But yeah, but you remember when we scored 57, we finished 3rd, played 2 cup finals. Don't ever forget that, bro. So, and it's not the manager that causes them to not score goals. It's actually the players who not finishing the goals. You know, a manager don't kick the ball. You know what I mean? So you can't blame him for goals not being scored when your team missing more chances than they're scoring, which is something that we have been doing. So maybe the players need to look at themselves. You know what, guys? We will be back. There's going to be a big stream at this midday, you know, pre-game warm-up. Professor Olmo, I will bring you in on that stream. Bailey, if you have time, you know, 1 p.m. UK, we will be here. And this is where we will be discussing, you know, how are we going about the game? What could happen? What is the predictions? What do you feel? How do you feel about the match day? Who do you think is going to be the performers today? And stuff like that. So guys, come back in. You know what I mean? Check us out. Be here at 1 p.m. UK. Let's talk about Man United versus Porto. As you know, we'll be warming up to the match, which starts tonight. It's 8 p.m. UK. We will be there. Europa League, here we come. I know we drew against FC 20, could we go away to Porto and get a win? That is the question. Leave your comments in the section, guys, whether you're in the non-live or the live. You know, for me, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it might be like a 3-2, 4-2 Man United win. The reason why I'm saying that is because ain't no way we going to create consistent chances and always miss. One of them guys will step up tonight. And if we could score half of the chances we create tonight, I think we would be beating Porto. I'm not saying that it's going to be an easy game because Porto, like I said, are a good team. But they have moments where they struggle. They're not that great when they press highly, when they press them highly. So let's see if our press can work tonight. Huh?
What if we concede first?
That's where I say it might be difficult. That's why I'm kind of thinking a 3-2 because I felt like if we concede, I'm never worried about Man United in Europe because in Europe we have this tendency to consistently score goals. The problem with that is last season we was conceding more goals than we were scoring, but we never have a problem scoring goals in Europe. We average 3.2 goals scored a game when we play in Europe. So in Europe, United is not bad at scoring goals. The problem is, you know, we just haven't defended well. And that was mainly last season.
I think one thing I'm wondering now is there room, because I know the structure has a certain level of requirements as far as team performances. They want to see performances every game.
Mm-hmm.
But is there room for a slight deviation with the European competition because of the situation that we're in? So as an example, can we just play like a compact game away from home against Porto, and when we have the opportunity, try and get in behind to try and score goals and to try and get goals from a set play? Because right now, the way we're playing, if like, I don't want to give them too many chances because I do believe that they're a good team. So I don't want to give them too many chances to actually beat us, because I think obviously recent history has shown that if we keep giving these teams chances, they're going to take it and we may lose.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation there. Andrew, see the weird thing about this statement, I see a lot of people making United have won 1 game out of 9 in Europe. They're mixing up both European tournaments to make this stat facts, because it's not a UCL stat and it's not individually a Europa League stat, because technically we have lost the last game in the Europa League, which makes it 9, and we've lost 6 games. We've lost 5 games. No, wait, 4. Bro, that's so weird, that stat that you guys made up there to say 1 game out of 9. Because I don't know if you guys remember the last season's tournament, you only played 6 games. You played 3 games against teams home and away in your same group. So we were only played 6 games in Europe last season, which is really weird, bro. That you come with this stat 1 out of 9. Because funny enough, when we played Europa League the last season, we went to the knockout round, and that's where we lost. Remember, we lost to Real Sociedad in the knockout round. Funny, guys, you know, because we only lost 2 games in Europe that season. So I don't know where they get this stat. Maybe they made it up or they added it up from Ajax, but that stat's not factual because you only played 6 games in Europe last season, so it could never be adding that to the first season. You need to go check, Andrew. It's a lie. You only play 6 games in Europe's group stages last season, 6. So that is not last year's results, 1. Because we won 2 games in Europe. We had 6 points. So I could tell you now that is fake. That is fake. I just being real with you, bro. You know, you don't need to make up stuff to make it sound like it's true. Because it's not the last 9 results, bro. We only play 6 games in Europe according to the group stage, Andrew. I don't know if you think that you was playing against 5 teams, but in the group stage last season in Champions League, it's only 4 teams. You play each team twice, meaning 6 games, not 9. So, bro, I'm sorry, that stat is fake. You know what I mean? By mathematics, it's not even logical, bro. And it's not just the last 9 Euro games, correct? Because remember, we went to the knockout round and we
Yo, what happened there? I don't know. Am I the only one here?
No, I'm here. Yeah, so in Europe, guys, I don't know where that start coming from, Craig. It's not entirely factual because if we had lost 9 games, we have never made the knockout round in Champions League last season. I mean, we have never made the knockout round in Europa League, which we did. So think about it again, guys. You know, it's like we could argue, but if we had lose 9 games, we had never made the knockout round in Europa League in his first season. And well, technically, we could never have 2 wins in the Champions League last season. So you only play 6 games. Last season in the Champions League, you only play 6 games. Just do the maths right there. There's no need to argue anything. We didn't go into Europe from the Champions League last season. We only played Champions League. Do the maths. There's only 6 games in Champions League. 6. The new Champions League format, you're playing 8. So do the maths, bro, and figure that out. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe that's over 2 or 3 seasons, but it's not last season. I can tell you that now.
What's your stance on young players? Do you think we should have a team full of youngsters that are all under like 25, or like, do you think we need a balance?
I do think there's a balance is needed. But however, I actually think that we should have had a team. We should have revamped the squad since the first season he came in, sell everybody, whether we buy young players with potential or not. The average purchase in 2022-23 season should have been players for average price of 25 to 35 million. I'd buy in bulk, and what don't work, I'd add to that in the following transfer windows. You know what I mean?
Because I was being told by a few people that a 26-year-old is too old. And I was thinking to myself, so you're telling me somebody at the peak of their powers is too old to come to this team and to improve Man United as they are right now? Because we're relying on kids in their early 20s, some ain't even 20 yet. We're relying on these lot to come and do something for us. And I just find it, it's no surprise to me that they're struggling. It's no surprise that, like, because when Cristiano Ronaldo came into the team, he had like people like Giggs that he had to fight with to come into the team to play. But you can't compare a Rashford to a Giggs. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? You can't compare some of these. You can't compare some of the senior players that we have, especially the way they're playing now. Yeah, you can't. It's like there's no comparison. We had killers that were starting ahead of these kids. So when they came into the team, like we were able to bring them in and bring them out, not rely on them. If the gaffer had to rely on mainly kids, yeah, without any good senior pros around him to win the league, it probably wouldn't have happened. And I know they said, you famously said you can't win anything with kids, but the whole team wasn't kids. We still had some good senior pros around them, bringing them through. And on top of that, I would even say the amount of kids that we had, the team still had a certain level of balance in the team.
100%.
So a balance is good, man.
It's an interesting situation, and funny enough, like, this is how I look at it, guys. I just look at it from the perspective that, it's going to take time. We are work in progress. The problem is that we didn't have the structure we had now back then. And that is the biggest problem. If we had Ten Hag had a structure that we had now when he initially came in, we'd be having that progression that everybody wants and love to see. Linear. You know what I mean? But we have a shit structure. We have a shit structure before that overspent money for a decade, bought players based on names and how many shirts they could sell. Of course, they might have bought 1 or 2 players in between that was good. They brought back Ronaldo and these things, brought back Pogba, but it was never a progressive situation. It was always a losing situation, stop gaps. And now we finally working our way back from scratch, and everybody's mad because they assume that because some of these players are Marcus Rashford, Bruno, and what have you, Luke Shaw, whatnot, you know, we're supposed to be winning something. But the overall and overarching situation for me is that this team don't show me that never say die attitude. It have some players there that show it, but not the major ones. And in every facet, you must have a key man. Who's the key man in attack? Marcus Rashford. That alone should tell you where our attack gonna be this season, because everything else is the unexpected. These guys all young, some new, you know, some in their second season. You can't expect too much from these guys. The one that you should be expecting things from doesn't deliver. He's the big man that is a small boy. You know what I mean? And fans, I don't know, we kind of put this situation on ourselves because we hype some of these guys to the hill and they don't deliver, but we keep hyping them anyway. You know what I mean? We don't really give it time to work. Before it starts working, it's the best. And that's what I think is the problem. I think we need to be patient right now, take the pain now, and celebrate later on. Because it never had a quick fix, and it was always going to be an uphill battle. That's just me. Billy, you there?
Yeah, I'm there, bro.
Yeah, about to close off the stream. I have a little bit of stuff to run about and do, but we'll be back later on at 1 p.m. UK, maybe 1:30, guys. You know, we'll do a short match, you know, warm up, talk about the game, talk about possibilities, some of the past games and past scores and what could possibly happen. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for joining me this morning. Big up to each and every one of you. Hope you have a great day. Big up to you, Billy Tech, for coming in. And big up to Brendan and big up to Andy Cooper in the building. You know, big up to Will, big up to Stephanie Griffith, big up to Craig Warby, big up to Luman, big up to Manu Tata, big up to Kingdom FC, big up to each and every one of you guys, Araya Daniela, over at Kick TV, Willman United, Pav, Hayden Pro in the building as well. Big up to all of you guys. Have a great one. We'll catch you guys again. It's been your boy, Mark, and MUFC fan, and we out, guys.
Baby.